windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, have some moonlit stay lamp, a little diesel right on through.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers found sometime last week, has been inspected in Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
Now, broadcasting live from deep in the desert of Nevada, K-Ghost Radio presents UFOTalkRadio.com with your host, Larry Glenn Anderson, Glenn Larry.
And that we are. I welcome all my friends and family out there from the desert, from the high desert in the great America, Southwest, broadcasting deep in the desert. Oh, yes. And we have the weather out there, too, although it's not doing that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, your time zone that you are in. I do welcome you. And to all the live broadcasters out there, the LP stations, and all the low-powered stations and the micro stations out there, we want to thank you kindly, all my affiliates out there. Shortwave radio, I know you got us out there. I heard it last night. Saw the previews. Nice work to my friends out there. 73s to my ham operators. And to the Silent Key with Whiskey 60 Baker. You know who that is. To KPFF and Pahrump, Nevada, little FM station. Doing very well up there. We love you. KBHR 57 AM, Siskiyou, Alaska. We love you too. And to everybody, all the world listening on the internet, I do welcome you. And I'm Glenn Larry. Well, I hope you guys have been doing okay. Hope your week went well. I had a couple of rough days. My back, my goodness, couldn't do much at all. And you know when you hurt your back real bad and you have to sit up in a chair. And yeah, well, it's getting better, but it does take some time, I understand. So we'll wait until that happens, and hopefully that'll happen soon. But I'm on the Tylenol, so things are good. And did a lot of things in the station this week. We moved a couple things around and some computers and did some rewiring and some re-Wi-Fi stuff. So that's going to be better for us. In a rural area, it's very hard to get sometimes good Wi-Fi. And it's in and out sometimes. And boy, it hurts the broadcaster. It hurts the show. But we're back with you. And I must say to you guys, thank you kindly for the emails I've been getting. Lots of great show ideas. Yeah, lots of them. And I would like to also tell you that tonight's show is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And I want your calls, if you would, please. And tell me what you thought about your time, your favorite year, the 50s, 60s, or 70s. Maybe go into the 80s a bit. I will see. But no, so many good things happened back there. And what do you remember? I will have some commercials from that era also to listen to. We have a lot of people on the internet coming into us right now. And I want to thank you. Looks at Washington, Olympia, looks like Seattle. Canada is tuned in. That's great. We love Canada. We love you guys. We'll be back right after this. This is the Glenn Larry Show. Thank you.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
And we are back, yes. As I say, Canada's tuned in. Oklahoma City, it looks like. I do have Moses Lake, Washington. Hello, folks up there. A lot of listeners tonight. That's a good sign, by the way. Did you get your book? Anybody from Washington State that loved KGY? It's done by Dick Poost, by the way. And it's about KGY radio and the time and rate at 1240 Little Town radio station. If you get a chance, look it up. It's Dick Poost, P-U-S-T. It's quite a great book. He even mentioned me in there, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, what a great history about radio up there in that area, if you're interested. But of course, those are listening. I'm sure that you are. So look that up on the internet and see where you get that book, because it's all the information is there on that internet page, I believe he has. A big shout out to Creekside Diner over there in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. And two of my fire buddies down there, all the firemen, volunteers over there in Avondale. I love you dearly, man. You guys are so cool. Station 23, Chief Hall down there. Those guys are hard volunteers. And to the local here, Clark County, our Nevada stations, 70, 78, 87, and 77. I do also kudos out to all you guys. And to all the doctors, nurses, and I'll tell you, emergency people, first respond, everybody. Thank you. We love you. And we're proud to mention you on our station. You might have noticed the thing that I put on the webpage today or yesterday about never giving up. And so much has happened in our world. And it's been pretty crazy. But we never give up. And that's the key. And I have to remind myself sometimes to never give up, no matter how hard it is out there and what's coming your way or has come your way. And especially the sadness of losing someone. Yeah, never give up. That's the main thing, man, because it's have your faith. Turn to your faith, whatever it takes. Just a little, tell you why I put that up there. Yes. I also like to thank another guy, get this out of the way for everybody so we get on with our show. Tiles and Carpet USA, Mr. Fran, good guy. If you don't know about carpet or anything about tile or the quality of what you're getting, I got questions. The guy to call is Fran. His number is 702-265-4419. Nice guy. Does a lot of work in Las Vegas. Actually everywhere, to tell you the truth. He's a pretty popular guy. And Shelton Battery, thank you so much. That supplies the batteries for our RV out there, our mobile station. 702-262-8180. Now, if you need anything about batteries or whatever, how long they last or how long will they last, and what type of temperature they should be in, and what type of size of battery, what cranking power, all that stuff, get a hold of Shelton Battery. Good people. I want to say hello to Tina's Hair. I'll be in. Tina, trust me, I'll be in. Does a great job cutting hair at 702-591-0033. If you're in the area and you need to know about hair, maybe get it clipped. We'll see. She'll tell you. She tells me. Of course, I wait for quite a while. I apologize about that. Some of us do that, some of the radio guys behind the microphone. But now we're on Facebook. We're everywhere. Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts, iHeart, Archer, Twitter, Spotify, Sprinkler, StreamYard. It goes on Facebook, YouTube, on and on and on. Of course, all of our channels, of course, UFO Talk Radio and Area 51 Talk Radio, on Art Bell Tribute Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, K Ghost Radio, and of course K Ghost AM FM, the low power station, Part 15s. We love that. Boy, the town out of Good Spring really likes that music. We do love Good Springs. So here we are, and I'm going to give out the number right now because we're going to have you guys calling in, and let's get some calls.
Now, back to Glenn Larry.
But let me give the number out first, please. I got to do this. Get the right button here. Yeah, it is. There we go.
To talk to Glenn Larry, all lines are open. 702-874-1114. To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
Do you know exactly how to read an Oreo? Well, to do it, you unscrew it very fast. Cause a kid will eat the middle of an Oreo first and save the chocolate cookie outside's for last.
See, there's so much frosty cream between.
Aren't Oreo kids lucky? Aren't Oreo mothers wonderful?
Cause a kid will eat the middle of an Oreo first and save the chocolate cookie outside's for last.
50s, 60s, and 70s. How about all that? Oh, yes. Gosh, I do love those commercials. And you can get that CD anywhere. It says oldies, commercials, TV, and radio. It's on the shelf anywhere you can go. But it gets all the 50s and 60s and 70s old commercials. Do you remember those? Wasn't those fun days? I was born in 56. And I don't know what year you were born. When you came to this beautiful world that we're in now, well, I'm still glad that I'm alive, but it has changed quite a bit. My gosh, when they say the good old days, you get the message? Those were the good old days. And I hope that the days to come will be better. Although, looking pretty grim. Although we must care. We must have hope. Yeah. But 1956, boy, things are going on. I think Eisenhower was the president back then. It was my first president. And then, of course, my favorite president was, I may say this, as Kennedy. I loved him. I think he was great. Gosh, and so much happened during our times in the 60s and in the 70s, of course. And, of course, you guys are all familiar with the 60s, what went down there, Woodstock, the whole bit. Of course, Vietnam War was going on. And, gosh, moving into the 70s, a lot of cool stuff happening. Best time of my years. I got out of high school in 75. But I'll tell you, things have changed. What do you remember times that you have had? I want to hear from you. I really do. So give us a call.
To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn and Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. And Coke refreshes you best. It's the refreshingest. Food goes better with, fun goes better with, you go better with Coke. The real life one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
And those are old commercials we're playing for you. Yeah. What do you remember back in the day? I remember when Pepsi came out. And I remember there was a drink, they called it, and it was a African name. Gosh, that was very good. It was kind of like Squirt. Remember that? That was a good drink. Oh yeah, Simba. Yeah, Simba. Remember that back in the day? Oh yes. And so many cool candy bars and so many cool stuff when you're growing up through the 50s and 60s. You know, toy guns, army men, and gosh, they used to have the games that you play. Kids would play games, Chutes and Ladders, and all that. And used to have was it the fort? Yeah, Indian Fort. That was pretty cool. Of course, the guys liked G.I. Joe. Was pretty neat back in the day when it came out. The first male doll. Wow. The girls had Kent and had Barbie. And I don't know, the relatives of Chatty Cathy. Remember that doll, you girls out there? And gosh, I remember all the cool cap guns. They were very well made back in the day. Oh, now they're all plastic with their little red thing on the top of the barrel. But and they look pretty authentic. But now today they've copied those pretty well now, the rifles and stuff, I must say. But we had real metal cap guns, and you put that roll caps in there and shoot that, and do it. Sounded real to us, And then when we had our bicycles, you wanted our bicycles to have an engine sound to it, So we took playing cards, yeah, and got off our mother's line out there for the laundry, and took those clips, and put those on to the spokes of the bicycles, and off we went. And boy, we had a sound, I'll tell you. Yes, that was so cool. And they know they had flashlights for the bicycles. I had a little AM/FM radio, actually AM radio, and it had a little horn on it. I got 2 of those still in the radio station out here, just to show about all different types of radios we have. We'll take pictures of that soon so you guys can see the collection we have of old radios. And for kids growing up, it was pretty cool. It really was. You had your Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Weebles, and we all got involved with that. It's pretty cool. Our parents got us in there. Our fathers would help us out, do things, make stools, make all sorts of stuff. And I remember even in grade school, I was on the school patrol. Put the old flag out, and the kids would walk across the road. Several of our buddies, Tommy Swyaki, he's now passed away. I love that kid. John Kyer was also one up there at Jefferson, and also I believe the grade school was Garfield. Yeah, and we did that. And we had our milkshakes on Fridays and stuff because we did a good job, and that was something. Gosh. I can still smell the gymnasium of Garfield. That smell like, yeah. It's no longer it's not there anymore. They've, built a new one. But the old wooden floors actually would creak, and pretty crazy. Yeah. Do you go back in your memories and think about things like that? What do you miss about the 50s, 60s, and 70s? A little bit of the 80s too. What do you miss growing up? And what experiences have you had that were so cool you want to talk about? Bring some memories back to some folks here out there in Radio Land. We may get calls tonight, may not. I'll just ramble on and talk about what I can talk about for the night show. I was hoping that we'll get some calls. And the special number is 702-874-1113. Now that's a special number. 1114 is a special number too. But if you get more people talking about their times, Maybe they can talk together. That'd be cool. I'm going to give that number out again, as I did just before. Stand by.
Now, back to Glenn Larry.
And here we are. They're back. They're back and they're ready.
To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First-time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
Hot dogs, Armour hot dogs. What kinds of kids eat Armour hot dogs?
Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks, tall kids, sissy kids,
even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs.
Armour hot dogs.
The dogs kids love to bite. Picking it up on the old banjo, put on the mustard and away we go.
When man bites dog, they snooze, they say.
But when kids bite dogs, they yell,
Hooray for hot dogs.
Armour hot dogs.
The dogs kids
Love to
I really think those commercials were so much fun to listen to and watch. That was really real television. You know what I'm saying? The commercials they have today don't have any real taste to them. I mean, you got your actress saying about the product, blah, blah, blah. But you got stuff like this. When you were kids, you wanted to go get that Armour hot dog. Did you not? I did. I loved them. My gosh. And the commercials get better and better and better. And I'm going to play a couple more for you. Remember, give us a call. All right? And let's talk about your time, 50s, 60s, or 70s, and some of the 80s.
If you're swinging, if you're boating, if you're pitching, if you're floating, you need Nestle's Quicken Milk this summer. If you're training, if you're racing, try the drink that's really bracing. It's Nestle's Quicken Milk this summer.
Delicious chocolatey Quick makes the most wonderful energy drink. Gives you all the health of milk plus Quick's own vitamins and iron. Never sticky sweet, so it really quenches thirst. Get cool, get a great chocolatey treat, and get lots of energy builders.
Take the tips from all us bright kids. It's the drink that's really right, kids. Ask for Nestle's Quicken Milk this summer. Oh, N-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle's makes the very best chocolate.
I was waiting for that last part. Chocolate. Yeah, my gosh. You remember that one? Huh. Fun stuff, huh? Yeah, gosh. Do you remember powder milk? Do they still have powder milk? I don't know. But I used to hate that. When things got tough, that's all growing up, had tough times. And we went to powder milk. I go because maybe payday was off or whatever, who knows. And yeah. Now you could use it in different type of ways, mixes and stuff, and whatever. But God, to drink that and instead of regular milk, gosh, yeah. I wasn't raised rich or silver spoon in my mouth. Father that raised me worked for Olympia Brewing Company and raised 3 of us kids, and that's pretty rough. And anyway, so you remember some of this product. What's the next one here? Let's just see what we've got here. Let's see here.
Hey, meet the swinger, Polaroid swinger. Meet the swinger, Polaroid swinger.
More than a camera, it's almost a life. It's only $19.95.
Swing it up, it says yes.
Swing it up, it says yes. Take the shot, count it down, flip it up. Hey, meet the swinger, right swinger, meet the swinger.
Polaroid swinger. Man, I tell you, I remember all different cameras were coming out during those days, and they got smaller, and they got smaller. But I remember also the Polaroid. You had pulled out the film and wave it around so it develops, right? What have you. Then they had the one that came out, shot out by themselves. Then you have those other one portables that had the square cube, which had the for the flash bulbs, and they go pop, 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 and they'd circle around. Yeah, remember that stuff? Gosh, yeah. When you go to like a Salvation Army store, I love going there. I love looking at all the old stuff and records and what you can look. They're kind of a cool place to go, and you find stuff that you've never seen before. Like, what is this? And I've got some things around here. I could do that. What was that? Yeah. I've got an old record player, and it's this small, and it is a portable record player for the beach. And they look at you, well, what is that? You would never know what it is by looking at it. You look, play it, and this is how it works. And oh yeah, I can see how that works. From 45s to LPs, it would play, and interesting stuff. I got quite a collection, and whoever finds my stash when I leave, you're going to say, what is this stuff? Hopefully there'll be somebody in the crowd that will know what these old radios are, what they used to do. But yeah, and we go back to the 50s, the music, the Motown stuff, the doo-wop, beautiful music. And you can hear that music on olympiaradio.com also. Yeah, that's another station we have just for Olympia, olympia.com. Mm-hmm. And we play that type of music from the 70s to 60s to 50s and maybe a little further down, maybe also just for specialty stuff. Big band era. Oh yeah. Play a lot of that. So where were you and what did you do? And how'd you enjoy your life going through the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and maybe some of the 80s growing up? What do you remember? We're going to take all the callers we can get. It depends if you want to talk tonight. It's going to be up to you.
To talk to Glenn Murray, all lines are open. 702-874-1114.
And that's right, 702-874-1114. Lines are open. Let's play another commercial. What we got here? Let's see what we got.
Stronger than dirt. Stronger than dirt. New Ajax laundry detergent is stronger than dirt. Stronger than dirt. New Ajax laundry detergent is stronger than dirt.
Yes, and these are old commercials we're playing tonight along with that. They're not sponsors. They are just old commercials. Another one.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink.
Can he clean a window sash?
Faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clearer.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Oh, Mr. Clean. By the way, get in there, clean the kitchen, will you? Where were you on the Apollo 11? Were you in the living room with your parents? Everybody in my family was in the living room. We're down in Oregon, Seaside. Everybody was there. My grandpa, everybody was there. We saw this whole thing on telly, and I'll tell you, it was quite an interesting, fun thing to see. And my God, it was it. It was it. That television was black and white. And there we were all sitting there watching this. And I'll tell you, it was darn cool to sit back and see this happen. And Now it's a conspiracy. Were they on the moon, or was that fake, or what? Blah blah. Oh man, whatever. Come on. I believe they went to the moon, and I blame that they've been back and forth many times. And you can go anywhere with conspiracy, which sells, I guess. I'm getting a lot of emails here. Thank you so very much. We are live. That's right. And yes, okay, we will play some more of those commercials for you. But let me give a PSA out here for you. We got to take a break. Station break. Stand by. Be right back.
You ignore the signs, so you enable.
You don't want to sound like a hypocrite, so you enable.
You don't want to alienate your child, so you enable.
But if you think they're trying drugs, you shouldn't be afraid.
You're the parent.
So you are able.
You are strong.
So you are able. There are others just like you.
So you are able.
And we can help. So you are able.
Get help at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First-time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
And we are back, yes. A little station break there for the affiliates. A little late on that, but I think hopefully not too mad. Yes, remember, I love Christmas. And I remember I had gotten, I was like 7 years old. And there was this large box, and I couldn't wait to open it. And I opened it, and it was Bart. Remember Bart? Mean Bart? He'd pull his arm down, and he would draw, and he'd shoot his cap gun at you, and you had your cap gun. So you never knew when he was going to do it, because the timer was different every time you pulled down the arm. And at that time, it was a timer. I knew something was working in there. But, never knew how he knew he'd beat you almost every time. But I got pretty good at it, I'll tell you. And then, of course, Battleship. Remember Battleship? Was one of my favorite games. I had gotten for Christmas this G.I. Joe helmet. And it came down and a visor, and it had some type of glass in that where you could see certain depths and stuff. And it had a little radio on the side, walkie-talkie radio came with it. And it was a tanker's or tank driver's more or less helmet like they have today, but they had a kid's version, and I got one. It was so cool. And I must have went through batteries like you wouldn't believe. Once I was batteries, once I was the radio, whatever. And how many people were into Action Gentlemen out there that were kids, still kids at heart? I had paper airplanes to even the airplanes that you would start with a little engine. And you'd put in the gasoline and just prime it, the primer, and hit that propeller, and off that would go. And the other guy on the other end had the stick, and that would start to take off, and you go in circles with this gas airplane. Pretty cool, huh? By the way, hello, Brian out there, Jim and Kent. Good to see you out there, folks. Nice waving to you. And also, now I was going to do it by myself. Now, that was a 2-man project, okay? So I laid down my string, to the yoke they called it, and it had 2 lines, so you could make it go up and down, and also within the circle. and landed, of course. And so I laid down the string, went up there, and I started that. I went. It's ready to go. I was ready to take off, and I ran to the string to the yoke to take off with the airplane, and I caught it on my foot going to the yoke, and the plane's running. Now the plane's starting to come my way, and it's chasing me. This aircraft, gas plane, it was chasing me, and it nicked me, I'll tell you. And finally, I got it to die, and yeah, that was my experience with my first airplane, gas airplane. Kids, what type of bicycle did you have in the 50s and 60s and 70s? I had a Swin, and I liked that. It was just a regular bike, and the 10 speeds would come out. Then I got better and better. I did win a race against a 10-speed person on a bike around Capitol Lake when they had the bike race, and came in first place. And then next day they had it, came in second place. But then I got smart and put people in categories that didn't have 10 speeds but had regular bicycles too. And I got better and better. Lake Fair was where it was at. Capitol Lake Fair. I have it every July, I believe, up there in Olympia, Washington. And it's like your county fair, more or less, or like your big city fair. And that's a lot of fun. Look forward to that every year. The carnies and things going on, crazy stuff. Then I was asked back in the day when I was doing the Elvis shows if I would put on a concert there, show they had bands out there. And I did. It was a great turnout. It rained a little bit, though, but we still had a good turnout. We had a police escort for that. They took us in to the limo and did the real show. It was a lot of fun. And they used to have that beautiful Christmas Island out there in Olympia, Washington. It's on Capitol Lake. And boy, that's beautiful. Yeah, gosh. And I talked about Dick Poose's book, KGY. They worked down there for many, many years, 30-something years. My gosh, the guy's a legend in radio in Washington State, Olympia. And I think he's going to be in some type of hall or something. I think that's going to happen. This guy's very well known. He's mentioned everywhere. But he wrote this book, 1240 Radio, and it's cool. It talks all about Olympia and about radio, and that was the first station out there. KGY was run for the priest back out there at St. Martin's. And Tom Olson got a hold of it, and made it what it is today. But hey, I'll tell you, if you get a chance, look for that book under Dick Post, 1240 Radio Station. I believe that's what it says. And in fact, I'm going to get that book, and I'm taking a break real fast. Put this commercial on. I will show you that book. Yes, let's do this commercial first.
Use Ajax, the foaming cleanser. Clean pots and pans just like a whiz.
Ajax cuts grease faster than any other leading cleanser.
You'll stop paying the elbow tax when you start cleaning with Ajax.
Ajax really polishes as it cleans.
So use Ajax, the foaming cleanser. Floats the dirt right down the drain.
My gosh, they're right. Foaming action Ajax makes even the dirtiest pan shine like new in a jiffy.
So use Ajax.
Unbelievable. Great old commercials, I'll tell you for sure. Now I was going to get up and get the book, but I have the camera in the way and stuff, but I'll get the information to you guys. I promise you. Yeah. Now, so let's go into the 60s. Now, of course, the Beatles were big. The Stones were big. Janis Joplin was big. And, things were happening, popping on rock and roll. And, of course, Woodstock was in and things were happening. Hippie, love, free, all that stuff back in the day. And, of course, we had the Vietnam War, and which is, anyway, I won't even go there, but lost a lot of great people, a lot of young men. But the music in those days were incredible. Things were blossoming, things are changing from the 50s and 60s to from the 50s into the 60s. What a different type of blend and a unique time for music. And boy, I have a lot of that, I'll tell you for sure, in our stations. And I have a whole 60s and 70s series of CDs, and I'm talking maybe about 150 of them at least. And of course, all the LPs and the records I've got, my gosh, I could fill a couple walls full. And I have a guy named the Spin Doctor, Tim is his name. He is a collector like you wouldn't believe. I've never seen something. I used to work down at KGY and help out and do what I could just to be there. Their record room was big to me at that time. But this guy's a collector of everything. It's like walking into a record shop back in the day. You know, go through the record, what's the latest, and get, okay, we got one here for you, and just 45 cents for that, or $1.25 for the 45 sometimes, and then of course the used record places are fun to go to still, just to hear that LP sound, that vinyl sound. It's a different sound than it is on these CDs. A different frequency you get, right? Nice sound. And those collectors, so that like I told you myself, and I play the LPs, but yeah, if you get a chance, listen to the difference. Yeah. And then along came Elvis, of course, back in the 50s, 56. He became big, the king. He was fantastic. And I think he's the best looking gentleman in the world in music. Elvis Presley is the king, man. He was unbelievable. And I enjoyed doing them back in the day, doing all the shows and concerts. Elvis Mania was fun, man. I tell you, how much excitement was that? Yeah. So where were you and when you were born? And I see my cat's not supposed to be up there. Get down. No, she's listening to me, just looking at me. Anyway, but give us a call and let's talk about it. What your best experiences in a time that you grew up on those beautiful days. Those are the good old days. And those people that are older than I am are saying maybe the 40s and 30s are the best days. I don't know, but let's talk about it. Let's hear about it.
UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada. Call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
New Meow Mix from Purina, the cat food with 3 separate flavors in one package. 3 flavors that cats love best: tuna, liver, and chicken. Meow Mix tastes so good, cats ask for it by name.
Meow. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Teach your eyes to look up, teach your ears to hear. Walk up to the corner where the coast is clear, and wait until you've seen the light turn green. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Teach your eyes to look up, teach your ears to hear. Walk up to the corner where the coast is clear, and wait until you've seen the light turn green. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block. Don't cross the street in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, in the middle of the block.
Oh, that's true today, I think. Wouldn't you think?
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these brief words from our sponsors.
Our sponsors are listening. They're going, wow, I've never heard those before. Yeah, you have. You think back. You probably heard those when you were a kid growing up. On that last one, it could be used for today, tell you the truth. Don't cross the middle of the block because you may get hit by a car, especially down in Las Vegas or wherever high traffic areas. Right, that's something. Yeah, the 70s. Boy, 1977, Elvis Presley left the earth. He's in heaven. and doing rock and roll there. I'm quite sure. Yeah, the 70s were cool. Gosh. All the different presidents we had, Nixon, back in the day, Ford and Carter, and yeah, interesting times, I'll tell you. So, I mean, did you take a bus to school? I did, yeah, if I caught it in time. And some of us used to walk to school, and yeah, and that was quite a walk sometimes, in the rain and what have you, but we walked to school as kids. Up a hill, down a hill, over a hill, and there was the schools. And how many people walk to school today? I see some of them in Vegas, little town I live in right here in Good Springs. They take a bus, of course. And the local kids go to school here, one schoolhouse, one room schoolhouse here, and we have in Good Springs. These kids get a good education, I'll tell you for sure. Mm-hmm. And new people move in, they got kids, get into that school. It's great teaching over there. Yeah, but we're back on the air here talking about 50s, 60s, and 70s. Not getting many calls. I don't know why. Maybe people are out doing something. I wonder if there's a game on tonight. It might be, you never know. So I'm going to give this number out again for you guys.
To talk to Glenn Larry, all lines are open. 702-874-1114. To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
When you say but, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say but, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say but, you've said the word that means you like to do it all. When you say but, it means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number one. When you say but, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say but, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one. There's only something less. Because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Old commercials. Yes, how much fun is that? Oh, we got a bunch of them to come up to. Got a caller calling in. Let's see what we got here. Welcome to the show. This is Glenn Larry. And who do I have?
You have Ken.
Well, Ken, how you doing, my friend? And what you're from the 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and whatever.
I can go in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, on up.
I sure want to hear the best of your stories, my friend. Pick a couple of them.
Do you brush your teeth with Pepsodent?
Is it still out there? I've been playing these old commercials, and I'm telling you, it's I was hoping somebody would call tonight because it is kind of a strange one, but yeah, I remember Pepsodent. Yes.
Did you use butch wax in your hair?
Oh my gosh! How about that one, folks? Crew cuts. Remember the crew cuts, right? Flat,
yep.
Or they call them flat tops, haircuts.
They call them flat tops with the sideburns on.
Oh, I'll be darned. My gosh. No, I think I did when I was like 8 years old. Yeah, I think because I had short hair. That was really one of the things, short hair. And I remember when I went to the barber shop, I told him, just don't take that much off, okay? My mother sent me back there, and boy, was she mad because I had longer hair.
Well, I went with my dad, and he said, you get a GI cut. And that's the way it was when you grew up in a military family.
Oh yeah, you betcha. My
Yeah,
gosh.
you didn't want no long hair on that head. But it's nice talking to you. I haven't talked to you since, the UFO deal in '67.
Right. And that was a big thing for you.
Oh.
Boy, folks, I don't think you heard the show. This gentleman had seen a craft right in front of his eyes, and unbelievable. And he has witnesses and what have you. And gosh, go ahead, tell us a little bit about that, would you, my friend?
Well, 1967, August
There you go.
1967, I was only about 300 to 400 foot away from one, and it landed.
Yeah.
Believe me, don't get that close to one because it does something to you, and I can't explain what it does.
Really?
It's just, and I had went back up there this summer, and I took some pictures of what I think was going on between the radio towers. And I think I may have sent you the pictures.
I think I've got them. I have to have Wes look at my site, whatever. See
And
where it's at.
and I just got an eerie feeling just sitting there taking those pictures.
Yeah, I bet. After
And
seeing that.
I mean, it's changed now. There's no stone roads. Everything was stone roads back then, but it's not stone road no more. It's a nice blacktop road, but
Yeah.
that road coming down out of that mountain, I went up that mountain and took pictures of the tower. That was a rough road, and I said, oh, my.
Yeah.
I only got 1,400 miles on my car. I don't want to.
Right.
It was brand new. I drove it up from Florida up to Pennsylvania, and I come down out of that mountain awful slow because it's not as bad as it was back in the days, but it's still bad.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
what?
Tower Road in Enola, they never blacktopped it.
Never did. I'll be darned. Tower Road, yeah. So on this UFO that we talked about earlier, this year, you actually, you how far were you from that craft? I mean,
Well, when I was on with you, I told you that I thought I was about the only one left alive, and I happened to go to the Murraysville Diner, and I seen this lady walking up the ramp, and I said, ma'am, I don't generally ask people their age, but I'd like to ask you your age. She says 87.
Wow.
I said, tell me your last name. She said, Fry. I said, oh, my God, your husband towed that car out there when that UFO come down. She says, I remember that. She says, I don't remember a whole lot about it, but she says, Jack did tow that car. I said, I know he towed the car. I thought I was the only one alive that would remember that. But
wow, at least you got that too. My gosh.
yeah, that's Mrs. Fry. She's still living. She's 87 years old. She lives in Summerdale.
There's always someone out there that's alive. Somebody. Yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't think there was anybody left. I thought I was the only one that would remember that. But,
well, I'm glad that you got to see her and meet her. My goodness gracious.
Well, I knowed her before that, but just that I hadn't seen her, for 30, 40 years. And she just looked familiar, and I had to ask that question on age and then that last name to put that puzzle together. And boy, when she said that, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to think. I said, yep, Jack towed that car out there when that UFO. She says, I remember that.
Wow. What years are the best years for you? You think that were the best years?
50s.
The 50s. And why do you say the 50s?
Well, I was a safety patrol for the borough of Marysville School District.
Right.
And I always loved putting that flag down when I seen them big teenagers coming that said stop. Even though there wasn't no traffic, I'd put that flag down just to make them stop.
Yeah, I was on school patrol too. Yeah.
I miss them days.
Yeah, boy, gosh, things are a lot simpler.
Yeah, there's no air raid sirens blowing no more or nothing. You never know when you're going to get it today. But back then, they blow the air raid siren. And, And I remember when they call it the sonic boom, when they broke the sound barrier. And I remember hearing that. And I said, what was that? My mother said, I believe it was an explosion. And then later on the news, they said it was a sonic boom, but they broke the sound barrier.
Wow, that's a
because that never was done before.
No, never.
I think that was probably 53 or 54 they did that.
Probably so.
I know it was in the early 50s, it wasn't in the late 50s, but no, the 50s and the 60s were the best.
Yeah, yeah.
Today, I got the 2 shots, and here it is 4 months later, I'm still fighting the shingles, and I was kind of down there for a while. I was kind of,
well, boy.
It took a couple of days after I got the second shot, to get these shingles. And when I was in Marysville, I got them, so I go up there. I didn't know what they were going to do, check me or anything on the way up. And when I was in the restaurant, I talked to 2 kids that I went to school with, and they said, I'll tell you what I got from them. They said the shingles. Well, I laughed about it because I didn't have the shingles then.
Yeah.
But it was about a week and a half after I got that second shot. I says, Diaz, it feels like I'm having a heart attack. But
yeah.
I said that unless they switched hearts to the other side, I said it's the wrong side.
Right.
And then I started getting these little bubbles all over my chest and all over my back, just on the one side.
It's painful. Oh my gosh.
That's what it was. That was very painful.
Yeah, I had it in my back when I was younger, and I'll tell you, like somebody took a mallet and bashed my back in. It's terrible. God, what pain. Unbelievable. And I know people out there in our listening audience that have had them too, and I know it's painful. Gout's painful. I get gout once in a while. I mean, gosh.
I never got that. I don't know anything about it. They say that comes from eating too much seafood.
Yeah, seafood, rich foods, and acid that's in your system. And coffee, Coca-Cola, I mean, all sorts of stuff can do it to you.
Oh, I drink a lot of Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my Pepsi.
Yeah.
I listen to your Coca-Cola advertisements. You're not going to get no more green bottles for a nickel.
No, you're not, are you?
No. You're not going to have to slide that bottle through the machine and out the holding for a nickel.
Oh, that's something. Yeah, all these old commercials are fun for people to listen to, and I drag them out tonight and stuff. And of course, we're not sponsoring any of these people on these old advertisings and radio commercials, but they're fun to listen to. My gosh. And you can get this anywhere. You can buy them anywhere.
Yeah, I used to get up early in the morning just to watch that commercial for Death Valley Days.
Oh, yes. That was a great one. Remember that?
Yep.
My gosh. And was filmed out here in Death Valley.
Hey, yeah, then after that come Covered Wagon Theater.
Yeah, that's right. And didn't Gunsmoke come along after that, somewhere around there, I guess?
Well, Paladin was one of my favorites.
Yeah, of course. I love
But I do remember when Elvis Presley had his debut on Lawrence Welk. That was something.
Wow.
That was something.
On Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. The Bubble Man. We call him the Bubble Man.
Yeah. And what did he do on that show?
He sang a song. What was the song, D? He ain't nothing but a hound dog, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yeah. I wonder if they cut him off the hips like they did Ed Sullivan's show. First one.
They didn't want him to. They didn't want you to see that part.
Yeah.
But they were really good days. I mean.
Yeah, they were.
I wished I had all the baseball cards. I used to get that baseball card and that big piece of bubble gum for a nickel. Well, you're not going to get them no more.
No. And comic books, boy, if you had those old comic books too.
Oh my, they were 5 cents back then. Then they went to 10 cents and
10.25 and yeah. Gosh. And then the 70s, Mad Magazine came along.
Oh, I love my Mad Magazine.
That was great. And the artists that did the artwork are incredible, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Oh my gosh. And I think that was written for adults, maybe so.
But then in the 70s, then I liked Benny Hill.
Yeah, Benny was great. Yeah. Yeah.
I still hear the Benny Hill music on the radio every now and then.
Yeah, I play it. I played on one of our stations.
Yeah, I like Benny Hill.
Yeah, he was good. His dad was also in the movies with him, the series. He was the guy with the bald head. He used to pat on the head all the time.
I seen that. I said, oh, this Trumpy patting Joe Biden on the head.
Unbelievable. He actually died a poor man in a small apartment.
Well,
yeah.
So did Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, something.
But they were good. But They didn't have no sound whenever I listened to them.
Yeah, boy.
I used to ride my bicycle a whole block down the road just to sit out on the road and look in the window and see somebody's colored TV.
Really? Wow.
We didn't have colored TV in the early 50s. And, they started coming out with them. My mother said, well, I can make the TV colored. And she got this green piece of plastic or something, and she put it down over the screen. She says, oh, you got colored TV.
Well, your mom sounds like a great mom, I'll tell you.
They used to do that, though. They had a green plastic that they put down over there and a blue plastic. And they called that colored TV then.
Yeah, back in the day. Used to have also a magnifying thing on front of the TV and make it bigger back in the day.
But my dad always said, well, we only got 3 channels, and I'm not paying for no more strips.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you used to have to buy a strip and put in if you wanted another channel.
Oh, boy. That was the good old days. I met the guy that was a distant relative, the guy that, made the first TV tuba. His last name was Shuckles, I guess. And, yeah, it's come a long ways from just a small little box to huge to what we have today. And I'm telling you, those old TV sets, I'd love to have a nice little TV set in my living room, an old one, black and white, because that's real vintage. That's cool stuff. I got the radios, but
now, here's one I'll tell the people out there in the radio land.
All right.
I had to buy a vibrator for my radio in my car about every 2 months. It was called a vibrator tube. If I didn't have the vibrator tube, it didn't play.
And why was that?
It was called a vibrator tube.
Okay. All right.
And the older cars with the 6-volt batteries, they had a radio in them. They had a vibrator tube in them.
Right, because maybe because you're driving. Vibration.
Yeah, you have to check on that. It's called a vibrator tube.
I will.
Yeah, and if you didn't, in fact, it was here about 30 years ago, maybe not even that. I bought an old Chevy and the radio didn't play. And I took the vibrator tube out and I went out back at Duncannon to a guy that had old radio stuff and he gave me one.
Wow.
And by God, it made the radio play. Without that vibrator tube, your radio will not play.
That's amazing. Huh. Well, listen, we got to go. I want to thank you for calling in. Number one caller. I'm going to have to send you some honey.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe next week, can we talk about orbs?
That's coming up. We'll do that. I'll do that for you.
I got the pictures.
All right.
And I got the recording on the computer, but you got to listen to it close to hear that orb talk.
Wow. Let's do that.
I had to have it removed. It was driving me crazy. I'll tell you about that on radio.
We'll do that next week then, okay?
Okay.
And we'll have orbs, and I'll have another guy on also. So be prepared.
You be safe, Larry, and
boy, thank you, my friend.
You take care.
Be well. God bless, and have a great tomorrow and week. What have you? All right.
Okay. Same to you, Larry.
Stay well,
Bye.
buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am Glenn Larry, and I want to welcome you for next week. And with a fun show with all these old commercials. We'll play one before we go. Here we go.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will pour. Must say something more somehow. So tonight, let it be low and proud. Let it be low and proud. It's been so long. Hey, I'm glad to see you. Raise your glass. Here's to health and happiness. So tonight, let it be all the best.
When you're with good friends having good times, don't just have a beer. Have a low and brown. Because good friends and good times deserve the taste of a great beer. And there's really only one. Low and brown.
Tonight, let it be low and brown.
All these old commercials, fantastic. And we're not sponsoring anybody on these old commercials. These are just old, fun stuff to listen to for the show. And we want to thank you again for listening to the Larry Glenn Anderson Show, Glenn Larry, as you know it. And, well, we're out of here. Thank you. Be well.
have some fun.